It's a great privilege to introduce our next speaker. I present to you Mr. Kathiban Chandramohan. Okay, Kathiban is currently a senior associate with Cognizant and is a part of Outreach Group. He did his BE Metallurgical Engineering in Government College of Engineering, Salem. He has won many major awards. He has won the Best Person of the Year 2010 by Puthaya Thalaimurai magazine. He has won the Volunteer Hero 2012 award. And he has been nominated to ring the Nasdaq bell, New York Stock Exchange, along with the company CEO, that's Frank, and has been appreciated by his contribution for the society. He has also met Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam 3 times. It's great, Kathiban. And he is the founder of Team Everest, which was started in the year 2006, and it has touched more than 3 lakhs people through 1,000 initiatives. The main area of the focus is promoting volunteerism, and they have around 6,500 plus volunteers. And I present to you Kathiban. It's all yours.
Thank you, Umar, for the wonderful introduction about me. It's my pleasure to be here and talk about my volunteering world to all of you. So just before pitching, it's pleasure to speak after an IIT professor has given a very wonderful speech here. When I came to know that there is something called IIT, I was already in second year of my college. So I never got a chance to study in IIT, but it's always lovely to hear these kinds of very knowledgeable professors speaking here. Probably before pitching, I'm not such a humorous speaker, but I just thought I can share a picture which I saw today so that you too can enjoy it. So here it is. It's titled as Other Side of Titanic. Can you see this? Okay. So you able to get the picture? Yeah. Okay. So just thought I can start with this picture. Okay. So even before moving on, how many of you here have volunteered earlier? Anyone here who have volunteered the past? Okay. How many of you have volunteered this month? 2 people? Good. Even today. Okay. Can you share what you have volunteered? Where you have volunteered?
Today actually as part of Cognizant Outreach, I went to this Periguri school where we actually initiated a process told by Outreach, which actually is to help students understand the basic wordings. Means we divided the students in 3 particular groups where it is some kind of low, medium and high. So we are making a kind of exploration between these 3 people to learn equally and to generate what they lag behind. That's it.
Great to know that. So good to know that volunteers are here. So my volunteering journey is all about how I started it. So today, being in knowledge community, let me share the status of how volunteering is here in India and what we are trying to do it here. So that's the message of my speech. Okay, so let me move in directly. So I'm a 2006 passed out, did metallurgical engineering, and I always had an idea of I want to do something back to the society. So that thought always struck in my mind. So there was a story, which I used to share in many of the forums. So it's a story of a cycle merchant and a diamond merchant. So till 10th standard, if you see, I studied in a government aided school in a village in Tiruvannamalai district. So where many of my friends were from a very financially poor background. So there was a student, there was one of my classmates with whom I used to go and have lunch. And whenever teacher has asked to pay the fees or want to buy a long size notebook, he used to cry during the lunch, telling that it's very difficult for him to pay such a huge fees or to buy a long size notebook. If you see, the short size notebook costs just ₹10, but if you see a long size notebook, it costs you 20 rupees, 22 rupees. And he told it's too costly, you will not be able to buy, and he was always in a fear that his teachers are going to scold him. And what he does is his dad is a cycle mechanic who used to put puncture for the cycles, all those stuff. So every time the teacher asks to buy something or do something, he goes back to his home, works along with his dad, put punctures for the cycle, he earns some money using which he used to buy for his buy these notebooks, all those stuff. And so till 10th standard, I was grown up with people like these kinds of students is were my friends. And plus one, plus two, I'm lucky that I studied in SBOA Chennai Annanagar. So where I was able to meet people from a different financial background. So the very first day when I entered, so I was late to the school. Sorry. Okay. So the very first day when I entered into the school, I was late, and one of the friend inside the classroom asked me to call me and asked me to sit near him. And I told, okay, I introduced myself, I'm Karthiban, what's your name? He told, I'm Syed. And I asked, okay, what's your father? He told, diamond merchant. And I asked, what? He told, I'm a diamond merchant. I told, oh, okay. And that day I called my father, mother and told, whom I am sitting with, the friend whom I am sitting nearby is a son of a diamond merchant. So why I am telling this story is, that's the kind of people I have met in my life. Till my 10th standard, I was with students who struggled to buy even a single long size notebook, and plus one and plus two, I met people who were, sons and daughters of diamond merchants and doctors, engineers whom I have met. And this difference in the rural place and the urban place, the cities, really disturbed me a lot. And that is the motivation for me to do something back to the society. And that's how I started this team called Team Everest. So this was started in 2006, once I joined Cognizant, and all this logo, everything was designed during my 4th year of engineering once I got the campus placement. So I thought, I should definitely do something back to the society. So I was waiting for the time to get into the company so that I can start doing these initiatives. During my colleges, I was able to do in a smaller way, but the moment I joined an IT company, I was able to do much more things. And so these are my inspirations. So I'm a firm believer of Gandhi's Ahimsa, Teresa's love, and Kalam's dream. So, and not to forget my parents, who was so my dad is a volunteer in Red Cross, Lions Club. So yeah.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. So my dad is a big inspiration again, who has volunteered in many other NGOs too. So luckily what happened, so 1.5 years into Cognizant, I was a programmer, I was a Java programmer with a BFS client, and I was looking forward for an opportunity to do social service as my profession too. Luckily, so when I joined 2006, there was no outreach, nothing, and I used to keep asking the management that, can you give me an opportunity to work in a CSR activity? And they told, no, there is no CSR arm in Cognizant and we will not be able to give you an option. So I thought, okay, then let me resign my job by 2007 December. So what happened was, when I joined Cognizant, I parallelly started this Team Everest also. And every day there was a lot of pressure in the work. Every day my work gets over by 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. After 10 to 11, I sit, do Everest work, leave home. The work happens till 11 p.m. I will start working from 11 p.m. to 12 p.m., do this NGO work, then leave to home. And at one moment of time, there was a lot of things I want to do in Team Everest. I thought, okay, this is not going to work. I cannot handle both work and these kinds of volunteer. Let me resign the job. So that's what I was waiting. And before it, I want to quote this. What happened was, so I was actually a Java coder actually. But what happened? So if, when you join as a fresher, they give you testing roles, and slowly they make you put into a development. So I thought, when I was doing testing, there was a lot of time available, and my team manager, after 6 months, he came back and told, it's time for you to move into development. I told, no, let me do testing itself, because I find a lot of time to do my other volunteering work. And he gave me few tasks, all those things which I'm trying to do, and nothing was happening. And one fine day when I pitched into my office, I saw someone else sitting in my chair and working. I went to my team leader and asked, hey, what happened? That's my seat, someone else is sitting and working. And he told, anyway, you are not contributing much to the projects, so why do you need a seat? Go sit and share the seat with someone else. Instead of feeling sad, I felt very happy, because even the smaller task which I want to do has been taken away from me. Now I can put my entire time into to do volunteering work. And that's how it started. And I thought, okay, so every day, my manager used to put me into a conference room, tell me, you need to get into Java programming, it's your career, you need to take care of it, all those things. But somehow I was so much disturbed over this volunteering work, and I want to do something back to the society. And I felt, okay, let me try till December. If I'm not going to get any job related to CSR or volunteering, let me resign my job, get back to this volunteering world fully. And luckily, Cognizant clocked $2 billion in 2007 November, and they started outreach. And as a first person, I moved from this Java project to volunteering, and for the past 5.5 years, I was into outreach. So now both my profession and what I do outside my profession is volunteering. So that's what I was doing for the past 6 years now. And this is what we did in Everest in 2012. If you see, we did close to 498 activities where more than 4,400 people volunteered, and we clocked close to 20,000 volunteering hours. So how volunteering hours are calculated. So what we do is, if 4 people go and spend 5 hours each, 4 into 5, 20 volunteering hours. That's how we calculate the volunteering hours in NGOs. Okay. So probably, so even before going to the problem, what we are trying to solve, let me explain you what are the various activities we do, so that you will get an idea of how we are contributing back. So we do educational trips for students, we do computer sessions where our volunteers bring their laptops to teach the students, dictionary session. So anyone from government schools here? 1, 2, from which place, sir? Okay, Nanganallur, Kerala. Okay. So if you know, I don't know how many are aware of ASER report. Anyone is aware of ASER report? Okay, lately. Okay, so this is an all India report given by an NGO called Pratham. Where they take surveys of the quality of education, especially reading skills and arithmetic skills across India, and they publish an index state-wise. And if you see, today subtraction need to be known to a second standard student. But if you go and conduct a subtraction test, 65% of 5th standard kids are not able to do subtraction. You will not believe, when I went to a school in 2007, in a school in Tambaram, they were teaching alphabets to 9th standard students. The reason being, the kid was thinking capital A and small a are 2 different alphabets. So if you see, it's not just in government schools. If you see, even the low cost primary schools or any schools are for, the quality of education in many of the schools were really poor. On the other side, there are still a lot of government schools, a lot of low cost primary schools who are offering excellent education. So still I haven't able to identify which is good, which is poor, but the majority of the schools which I have visited, this is the case. The ASER report I was able to see. So I will give you an example. I went to a school in Pallavaram where our volunteers tried to teach algebra to 10th standard students. We thought, it will help them score good marks in public examination. The first day we went, we are not able to teach algebra because the student doesn't know subtraction and multiplication. So there was a class of 15 girls, and I asked what is 7 into 7, not even a single child was able to answer. Then we cancelled our algebra class and we started teaching the basics of mathematics. Why I am telling this is, that's the quality of education which we are having in majority of the schools. If you think 10th standard students are going to do even a basic mathematics, think about them clearing graduation and getting into corporates like where we are working in. It's really tough. And these people are from underprivileged background. And I will tell you another example. Like in a village where we visited, teachers were not giving homework. Do you know why? They stopped giving homework for the kids. Because even if you give, kids were not doing. Their parents were not educated, they are not graduates or they are not went to school. So what happens? Even if you give homework, there is no one to guide the student at the home. So what happened? Anyway, the students are not doing homework. What is the point in giving homework to the kids? In the entire village, that is the only school, and teachers were not giving any homeworks. And you see, the quality of education is really poor. So to address all these things, there is something we need to do from our side. So this is what we are doing. Apart from the basic core problem, we are doing a lot of extracurricular activities. So like educational trips, computer students, dictionary session. You won't believe 9th standard, 10th standard kids were not able to use dictionaries. They don't know how to use a dictionary. Somehow, I have done a survey of 1000 students, and if you see, around 500 to 550 students were not able to, doesn't know how to use a dictionary. Luckily, majority of the girls somehow knows how to use a dictionary, and boys doesn't know. I don't know why. Maybe that may be one of the reasons they are scoring very good marks in 10th and plus 2. But this is the generic trend. If there are 10 students, 10 girls, 10 boys, probably 6 to 7 girl students tell that they know to use a dictionary, whereas only 3 to 4 boys tells that they have used a dictionary and they know how to use it. So what we do is we donate them dictionaries and help them, teach them how to use a dictionary. We do talent search competitions, science sessions, where a lot of NGOs like Arvind Gupta Toys, these people have come out and Aid India, so they come out with cheap tools like basic plastic cover, plastic bottle, pen, pencil. Using this you can teach complex topics like reflection, refraction, air pressure, sound, light, properties of light. All this you can teach. Puppet shows, that's the beautiful tool to teach moral science. If you go and try to teach moral science to the kids, it's very difficult, they won't listen. But you see a toy coming and speaking, it's really amazing. When I go and speak, no one responds. When a toy speaks, you can't see even a single student who is not responding. I don't know how. I think that's the respect you get for living beings. Non-living beings wins in such cases. So like we do career guidance, library setup, magic shows. So all this is done by volunteers, not professionals. Only volunteers goes and does this. Orphanage visits, fun games. So fun game is one of the inspiration I took from my life. Okay. I always ask this question whenever I do fun games. Which standard did you got your first prize? Which standard? Yourself, Divakar? Second standard, okay.
First prize is what?
No, not first prize. Your first prize in life. Any prize you have got in your life. When did you got? You got your first prize during your second standard, right? Okay, anyone? Anyone much earlier than that or later? UKG, okay. Anyone I have never got any of the prizes. Anyone is here? Till my school days or college days. Okay, let's find out who has got their prize very late in their education. Anyone in 5th standard? You don't remember it? Very difficult? So many prizes. Okay. No, I'm trying, probably knows, okay. Probably in my life, if you see, the very first prize which I got is during my 10th standard. I still remember it. Till 10th standard, I have not got any of the prizes. So during 10th standard, I did a computer course in my school during 9th standard, for which they gave me, you became school first in computer science, and they gave me a sketch packet. I still remember it. Probably anyone older than 10th standard, 11th, 12th, college? No? I think so. I am the person who have got my prize very late, right? So if you see as a kid, motivation is really important. You will not believe, if you see today the amount of suicide cases that's happening in our country is alarmingly increasing, and many of this, take any OMR road or any of this, any schools in the city, you can see at least one suicide in these schools. Some of the schools which I visited, people come and tell, I suddenly went to school, the teacher telling, there's a suicide last week. Asked, what, there's a suicide? Yes sir, every year there will be at least 1 or 2 suicides in our school. We are used to it. Now that's the kind of, situation we are in. Kids are not motivated enough. And being a kid, see, that's how what parents or teachers do. You always motivate a kid, right from the childhood. Yeah. No, career guidance, we just focus more on the career. See, the motivation part comes into this fun day. Fun day is designed in such a way, because I felt very bad that no one gave me a small prize or something when I was small. So what happens? There's a singing competition, the teacher comes in, asks you who sings well, okay, they will write their name, they go. Essay speak competition, who's the first, second, third rank, they will write, they go. Who dance well, take. Now everywhere only good dancers, good singers, good writers go off. What about medium or poor writers, singers, dancers like me? I never got an opportunity. Education should actually do that. What it should do, should focus on people who is very medium or poor, give them opportunity, make them better. If only good speakers are going to speak, how come an ordinary, very moderate speaker like me will get an opportunity to become a very good speaker? Now that's what actually motivated us to do, what I've shown it here, like Everest Talent Search competition. Okay, I have 5 minutes, right? Okay, so that's what we have done, where we conducted various competitions for students to, we did it in 2008, I think, where we reached out to 385 schools and conducted competition for 1,10,000 students. So this fun day, what we do, we have put up few stalls, like 5-10 stalls across, where kids can go and play small games. We give them a challenge. Say, like, take this picture. They have a bat, we gave them a ball, they need to tap it for say 25 times without leaving the ball to the ground. If you do that, they will get a small prize. Now I put a small challenge and make them win it. So if they win, they will get a prize. If they lose, we tell them, you learn to win. So either they win or they learn to fail. That's what we do it here. So all these things. So when we did this in many of the schools, like 60 to 70% of the kids were getting their prizes for the very first time. So you win it, you will spot, in the spot you will get a prize, and we ensure that rest of the kids standing and seeing this claps for them. So that's what we are trying to achieve there. So all this are other initiative which we do. We run around 9 free study centers in Tirunelveli district, where more than 800 students were studying, and we help students get their bank loans for education. So this is some of these things. Okay, let me run through this. This is the problem I want to speak today. There was an NGO called Charity Aid Foundation, so who did a global survey to identify which country is good in giving back, in volunteering. And when they did it, we ranked 134th out of 153 countries, which means that 12% of Indians gives time and only 14% gives money in India. Now that is the area we are trying to focus on. We are trying to motivate people to volunteer at least once a month. That's the state of volunteerism in India. In a country like in India, where it's a developing country, you have both developed people and people who are trying to become developed. Now there is a bridge you can establish. Like, okay, we are graduates. If I go and help a first graduate to help him become a success in life, now actually you increase that rate. So we have a huge scope. So what we do is we actually focus on these 4 areas, like creating awareness important of volunteering, because during my past 6 years when I started Everest, so my friend sitting near to me in the academy actually asked this question: why are you trying to do all these things, man? Focus on your career, go to on-site, enjoy. Why you want to do all these things? And when I got the best person award by Pudhiya Thalaimurai, and she short magazine, and I saw in one of our office, Cognizant office, I thought she came near me. I thought she's going to appreciate me, and she told, so people are not realizing, they think that volunteering is not your duty. Why are you doing this? So we want to really create awareness on volunteering. So these are something which we do in schools, where kids volunteer to, so they put up a poster, save trees, kind of. So this is a drawing. I always ask kids, how can you help others? And majority of kids draw this drawing. Help a old man cross the road, or the blind cross the road. So we always tell, I went and asked people, when did you volunteer last time? So one person told, no, I am a very active volunteer during my college. I participated in camps, all those stuff. And if you see, you will be a 40 or 45 years old man. which means that he is speaking something which happened 20-25 years back. So no, that's not volunteering. If you see a religion, it's beautifully built. A Christian need to go to church every Sunday, Muslim need to do his namaz five times a day, so Hindus have their own special days where they go to temple. So it means that the frequency of the, an individual meeting with the God is made very frequent. Now that should happen in volunteering too. If you start volunteering at least once a month, what happens? Much more than once you will start volunteering. That's the overall idea. So why you call it 12 by 365? You have 365 days and you started giving 1 day a month, you'll be just giving 12 days out of 365 days, and you have 353 days for your family, your profession, your promotion, all those whatever we are trying to chase. So you can see our kids, we have volunteers right from age 1, like first standard to corporate people who volunteer. So these are our kids in Tirunam district who are volunteering to create awareness about literacy. Kids bringing their own broomstick, all those to streets, cleaning their streets, creating awareness in the village about cleanliness. So another is there's no age bar for social service. People always ask, why are you doing this? Like my friend told, why are you doing it? So I asked him, okay, should I do volunteering only the day before I die? I don't know. So there is no actually age bar. Either an first standard kid can volunteer, or even a 70 or 80 years old can volunteer. I can show you a live example. Actually, she is Nandini, who is doing 10th standard. She has prevented around 50 kids from becoming a child labor. She is just doing her 10th standard. And you can see Ayasami. He is called as Mahatmas of trees. What happened was, he was a follower of Gandhi actually. So he never wears his shirt, and when he was, I think he is in 1984, he heard an FM interview where the interviewer was speaking about global warming, and he told a suggestion: if you plant trees, you can make this gold a little cooler. And he thought, he doesn't know, he cannot answer anything about global warming, but he thought, okay, keeping trees is good, let me try it out. And he started keeping trees, and today he has planted more than some 10,000 or 20,000 trees, and is called as Mahatma. He was one of our chief guests for one of our Everest anniversary. So he passed away some 1 year back. So when I got Best Person of the Year award, he was also awarded on the same year. So both of us got it. So I was a 76 years old guy, and I was 24 or 25 years old when we got that award. So it clearly shows there is no age bar for social service, right? And there's creating awareness on how to do social service without money. Because the moment I tell I run an NGO, people think, okay, where do you get your funds from? No, today if you see, out of 10 projects I do, 9 projects doesn't need any fund. You can do a lot of things without money, actually speaking. So if you see, things like this, where kids take care of the sapling. Take this, watering the plants. In summer, kids do it. They take water from their home, pour it for the plants near the temples. So a lot of things you can actually do. So the term volunteering, we always think is doing a privileged guy doing something for the underprivileged guy. No, I define volunteering as anything you do without expecting anything in return. That's how I define volunteering. So I'll give you an example. When I was in college, I had a friend who used to keep 50 paise coins in his packet. He never spends his 50 paise coins. So when he gets some 20 or 30, 50 paise coins, what he does is, he goes back to a bus conductor and gives the 20, 50 paise coins and get a 10 rupees coin. And what you get in turn, you get a 10 rupees plus a smile from the conductor. Because you always know, when a conductor doesn't gives you 50 paise back, you always scolds him telling, okay, 50 paise suited tanda. That's our attitude. But we never realize that he is also a human being. If we are not able to carry 150 paise coin, how can you expect that human being to carry 50 paise coins for all the passengers who are boarding the bus? Now, for me, that is also volunteering. So, so this is what we are trying to do. If you see today's the condition of volunteering in India is really, really poor. In US, if you see, President Obama comes and addresses in the TV requesting school students to volunteer 8 hours per term. Just imagine those kinds of scenes. Manmohan Singh coming and addressing school students, volunteer for India. We have never seen such scenes in India, right? So this is what we are trying to do. There is some a teaching methodology called service learning. This is there in many of the Western countries, and this is not yet introduced in India. So we are trying to bring this kind of service learning where kid can learn few things by doing a service. So it's a win-win. You do something back to the society, and in the process you also learn so many new skills, so many new concepts through service learning. So we are working on this. This June we are planning to pilot in 1 or 2 schools, and an idea book called as micro volunteering. Like I told, we are in the process of publishing a book which have ideas on how you can help others without money, and you need not spend a separate time. You will not believe an housewife can do 50 to 60 different types of service just being in home, no need to go anywhere. And you are going to starting from home, go to office, come back, sleep. Within that you can do around 125 different service. You need not allocate any separate time for that. Going there, you can carpool. Okay, having a coffee, don't use a paper cup or a plastic cup. There are so many things which you can incorporate in a day-to-day life which is still a volunteering, but we don't realize that it is volunteering. So that's it from my side. So we can make this world more kind and happier. My only request is volunteer at least once a month. So thanks to all. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Any questions? If we have time, I have a 1.5 minutes video which I want to play for you guys. Huh? Okay. I just kept my alarm for 7:25. Okay. We have an audio pin here. Okay. Actually, I was not able to get the English version of it. Where is the speaker?
நாம சந்திக்கிற பிரச்சனைகளால நாம அல்லல் பட்டுக்கிட்டே இருக்கோம். சமயத்துல அதுல மூழ்கியேவும் போயிடுறோம். தாரிச்சிட்டு ஹம்மிங் பேர்டோட கதையில இந்த பெரிய காடு தீ பிடிச்சுக்குது. காட்டுல இருக்கிற எல்லா மிருகங்களும் வெளியே வந்து மலைச்சு நிக்குதுங்க. காடு திகுதிகுன்னு எரியறத எல்லாம் பாக்குதுங்க. பலவீனமா என்ன செய்யறதுன்னு தெரியாம திகச்சு போயிடுதுங்க இந்த சின்ன ஹம்மிங் பேர்ட் பறவைய தவிர்த்து. இல்ல, இந்த தீய நான் ஏதாவது செஞ்சே ஆவேன்னு சொல்லுது இந்த ஹம்மிங் பேர்ட் சிட்டு. பக்கத்துல இருக்கிற ஒரு ஓடைக்கு பறந்து போய் ஒரு துளி தண்ணிய அலகால எடுத்து நெருப்பு மேல தெளிச்சுது. அது தன்னால முடிஞ்ச வேகத்துல மேல கீழே போய் வந்தது. இது நடுவுல மத்த பெரிய மிருகங்கள் தன்னோட பெரிய தும்பிக்கையால இன்னும் நிறைய தண்ணி எடுத்துக்கிட்டு வரக்கூடிய யானை போன்றவை எல்லாம் சும்மா எதுவும் செய்யாம நின்னுதுங்க. அந்த சின்ன பறவை கிட்ட என்ன சொல்லுச்சுங்க தெரியுமா? நீ என்ன செஞ்சிட முடியும்? நீ ரொம்பவும் சின்னது, நெருப்போ ரொம்ப பெருசு, உன்னோட ரெக்கைங்க ரொம்ப குட்டி, உன்னோட அலகுகள் மிக மிக சின்னது, ஒரு வாட்டி ஒரு துளி தண்ணி தான் எடுத்துக்கிட்டு வர முடியும். அதுங்க தொடர்ந்து டிஸ்கரேஜ் பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருந்ததுங்க. ஆனா சிட்டோ கொஞ்சமும் நேரத்தை வீணாக்காம என்னால என்ன செய்ய முடியுமோ நான் அதை செய்யறேன்னு சொல்லுச்சு. என்ன பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் நம்ம எல்லாரும் அததான் செய்யணும். இந்த ஹம்மிங் பேர்ட் பறவைய போலதான் நாம உணரணும், இருக்கணும். சிறியவளா வேணா நான் உணரலாம், ஆனா நிச்சயமா இந்த உலகம் எப்படி வேணுமானாலும் போகட்டும்னு வேடிக்கை பாக்குற மிருகங்களை போல நான் இருக்க விருப்பப்படல. நான் தாரி சிட்டா ஹம்மிங் பேர்டா இருப்பேன். என்னால முடிஞ்ச நல்லத நான் செய்வேன்.
So wish we get many hummingbirds from here. Thank you. Happy volunteering. Any questions?
Not a question as such, but
Okay.
as you said, many people when they think of volunteering or doing a social service, they basically think, okay, what do? I don't have the money or I don't have the time. But as you said, probably my takeaway from this session would be that, okay, even without money, you can volunteer. So I think that would be my primary takeaway from this session.
Exactly. Right, I always tell, few things. I will give a small example. Okay, you are not able to replace your paper cover. Okay, use a stirrer, right? So 5 people go, don't take 5 stirrers, take 1 stirrer. You can use the same stirrer in all your coffee, tea. We don't consciously think that is volunteering. You can do a lot of different. No, I don't use tissue paper. I still, because till I finish college, I don't know there is something called as a tissue paper existing. Only when I entered into my corporate world, I saw something called as a tissue paper, and everyone started using it. So I was living in this world for 22 years without using a tissue paper, and suddenly when I get an opportunity to use tissue, why should I use it? I'm still comfortable with my kerchief. right? So there are few micro changes which we can do in our day-to-day life. So volunteering is so simple. It's not just going to an orphanage, to a school or something. Are you doing something consciously back to the society? I think that will make a huge difference.
Thank you, Karthiban. So I request Krishna to share the memento to
Thanks,
Karthiban.
Krishna. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for the session.
So thank you very much,
Thank you.
Karthiban.